Well, I don't really have a good transition to our final classic movie review, so let's just get in there.
Yeah.
First Blood.
First, did your first blood not me?
I
Yes.
feel like this cover misrepresents what the movie really is. The cultural reputation of Rambo as a whole completely misrepresents what this movie is.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
I have never seen a Rambo movie before, but I kept saying this when we were going through the Death Wish movies, where I said this kind of has the same cultural reputation as Rambo, where you have a first movie that has a point and is kind of tragic and good, if a little bit silly and over the top, and then it just turns into a cartoon after a while.
Yeah. and well, in the case of Rambo, there was a cartoon.
And it is astounding to me. Well, first off, what irresponsible parents were letting their kids watch this movie?
Yeah. Yeah, good question.
Second, who looked at this poor, mentally damaged character and said, who we'll get into it in a minute, but like his actions in this movie are kind of unforgivable, and said, yeah, there's our hero.
Yeah.
Well,
There's the
apparently they didn't
action
have
movie
sequels
here.
in mind from the jump. So,
Oh yeah. There's our action hero for the decade.
yep.
Yeah. Uh, So First Blood, is the story of John Rambo, who he's in. Movie starts off. He's in the Washington, up in DB's neck of the woods in Washington State,
Oregon, actually.
Oregon. Oh, okay.
Yep. It all looks the same.
Yeah. But yeah, so he's in Oregon, and he's there visiting an old war buddy of his because he's a Vietnam vet, and he finds out that his buddy passed away because he got exposed to Agent Orange, which for those of you who don't know the history of Vietnam, Agent Orange was a chemical that we used to
a defoliant, as they called it.
Defoliant, yes. And unfortunately, caused cancer for a lot of people, including many of our soldiers. So,
yeah,
I
had an uncle who got diabetes from it. Like he's the only member of the bloodline who actually had diabetes.
Yeah, it was bad. Well, that whole war was just ill advised.
It's like, okay, if you're going to fight a war, fight the war to win. Don't waste people's lives prolonging the inevitable.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But so Rambo, so then Rambo goes off, and he's basically just drifting and wandering the streets, and he comes up to this little town and run by a very what would you call
corrupt doesn't seem like the right word, because like corrupt to my mind implies that you're selling favors for things. More just like he's a bully with a badge.
This Sheriff Teasel, who's played by Brian Dennehy, and so he picks Rambo up and basically runs him out of town, and because he doesn't want him around because he's a drifter, and obviously by the way, this wasn't it's not mentioned in the movie, but I think it was mentioned in the book that the movie is based on. Teasel is a Korean War veteran.
And it was mentioned that he had been in the service, I think.
Yeah,
but they didn't specify when.
Yeah, and he's part of his motivation is that he's very jealous of the Vietnam veterans because they were getting so much attention. And the Korean War, for those they call it the Forgotten War because it was right after World War II, and it ended with a ceasefire and an armistice, and just nothing really got
Right.
accomplished with that, other than splitting Korea into two countries where one is prospering and the other one clearly is not.
Yes. And also a lot of veterans from earlier wars have kind of mild disdain for Vietnam vets because it's like, well, you guys failed.
Yeah.
Never mind that they were put in an impossible situation. So we have to fight defensively. We can't go over a national border to actually take the fight to the enemy. So we just have to go out and patrol and wait to get ambushed. Fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, man. But yeah, so Teasel runs Rambo out of town, and then but Rambo, not one for wanting to be pushed around, turns around and tries to walk back to the town, leading Teasel to arrest him, and then his deputies proceed to treat him very rough and very poorly, which leads to Rambo having some post-traumatic flashbacks to his time in Vietnam. And he eventually snaps, beats up all the deputies, and runs out of the station and flees into the mountains.
Yeah, and whoever was the stuntman on that motorbike, man, he was taking his life into his hands that whole chase.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Just gunning down the street at top speed, no helmet, no like in a wife beater,
yeah,
down a creek bed, just
yeah. Raining, yeah, and wet roads, yeah,
yeah, that was impressive.
yeah, it was, yeah,
So that's the inciting incident. The rest of the movie is the local sheriffs and the National Guard having to ramp up their attempts to bring down Rambo because what do you know? It turns out Rambo isn't just some random drifter with dog tags. He's in a what was he, a Green Beret, some sort of special forces?
yeah. He was Green Beret. Yeah, he was a Congressional Medal of Honor recipient. Yeah, he was a real deal. And but at the halfway point of the movie, when they're all trying to get everything organized, that's when Colonel Troutman shows up, his old commanding officer, who was played by Richard Crenna, and he just kind of lays it all out for him and says, "You guys don't know who you're messing with here."
Right. Right. You're basically picking a fight that you cannot win because he has been trained to live off the land, eat things that would make was it make a
Billy
rat?
Goat puke. Yeah,
Billy Goat puke. That's it.
yeah,
And like he just shows incredible resilience. Like he gets his arm gashed when he falls off down a cliff. He like sews himself up, as you can kind of see on the cover there.
yeah.
He finds himself a feral pig, which I don't know if they were a thing in that part of the country in the 80s, but there was actually, you know what? I'll tie it together for the movie. They did knock down a bunch of local farm fences in the course of their chase up into the mountains, so maybe it got loose then. So there we go.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and of course then he ends up in a mine shaft, and then of course it's infested with rats, and they're all biting him, and
Yeah. Yeah, and the way he gets trapped in that mine is that you have a bunch of weekend warriors, the National Guard show up, and I loved the way they portrayed them, just as like this huge counterpoint about what I guess like or contrast with Rambo himself, because like he's this lean, mean fighting machine. They're a bunch of them are kind of overweight. They all have their wristwatches and wedding rings on. Wedding rings on, even as they're out there in the mountains fighting.
yeah,
One guy just would not stop chewing his gum.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They all look like accountants, and and I think the lead guy was a pharmacist. He's just like, yeah.
Yeah, if he wasn't, he looked like it.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, so and then it all kind of culminates where Rambo shows up in the town, and he basically goes killdozer without the killdozer.
Right. He has an M50 instead, and unlike And unlike Charles Bronson in Death Wish 3, which is a detail I forgot to mention, I believe he is actually holding that machine gun properly.
Yes.
And unlike Bronson, who had his hands over the vents, that would have burned them horribly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Although I think that particular machine gun, you do have to have it on a tripod or bipod to actually fire it.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, because of the kickback. Yeah, because if you're just holding that with your hands, that thing would be flying everywhere.
Yeah. None of the precision shots to knock out the power in the whole town like he got there.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. Like, okay, so I've talked about this before. It's the Bugs Bunny rule of making a sympathetic protagonist.
Yeah.
Where they aren't the one to start things, and they are like they respond to escalation in kind.
Yeah.
Because like the first group of like first time he runs into the sheriff and his deputies, he gets shot at. In fact, he gets I believe he gets a grazing shot at one point.
Yeah.
And like he tries his best to escape, but it's like, okay, after he jumps down that cliff, it's like, okay. And he still doesn't actually kill anybody on the second go round, though he does kill 3 dogs, which is
Yeah, not going to earn you a lot of sympathy.
No. But like some of his traps like could have been lethal, like the one with the spikes he did.
Yeah, going into the guy's legs.
Yeah, that was brutal. And like his last fight in the police station, after he's like he is a one-man terrorist cell basically.
Yeah. And of course that's when Troutman shows up to to talk him down, and he says it's over, Johnny. He's like, I think it's over.
And then he proceeds to give a monologue that is one of those reasons why I am more of a Stallone guy than a Schwarzenegger guy. Because in his career, Stallone just has multiple. He has multiple monologues like this that he just delivers so well and so raw, and it's like, and as he's like kind of as he's venting to Troutman about what his life is like after getting out of the service, like when he's telling the story of how his friend died, he's just totally incoherent. Like you can't actually follow the story at all because he's reliving it, and it's like the moment that destroyed him.
Yeah.
I ended up rewatching that scene a few times because the company behind this had it up on YouTube, and the comments are just full of people saying, my father was in the service, and he never talked about it, but we watched this scene and he cried.
Yeah.
I'm misting up right now just thinking about it because it's just a raw scene, and if you don't pull up Tubi and watch this movie, go find that scene.
It hits really hard. And it's just a reminder of what our servicemen and women go through when they have to go fight in a war. It's just
it isn't like World War II where they came home and were seen as heroes and liberators. Like they got home and were told, "Oh, you're baby killers and imperialists and failures." And
they were getting spit on, and now I want to mention real quick that there were actually they did 2 endings to this movie. And first they were going to go with the ending that's in the book, which was Rambo has Troutman unalive him. But I guess some studio person decided, no, I don't want to do that. I want to make sequels to this movie. So let's have another scene where he just gets arrested.
Which, financially it was the right choice, but I did keep thinking that, like, if I didn't know better, just from his body language, I felt like Troutman was about to pull out his service revolver and end it.
Yeah.
And
definitely gave off that impression. Yeah.
And also, Richard Crenna in that scene is great just because he is clearly a strong, stoic man trying to hold back his own tears and failing.
Yeah. Yeah, because that was part of the I would say probably major motivation for Troutman's the character was, he did feel like he failed Rambo, just because coming back home and not because he's the one who trained him, he's the one who taught him how to do all this stuff and turned him into this killing machine, and then the war ended and he went back home and he just couldn't adapt to life. And
out there I was flying helicopters and driving tanks. Government put me in charge of $1 million machines. Back here I can't even hold down a job parking cars.
Yeah.
The other thing is that, like, this is a tragic movie no matter how you look at it. Like, totally different world if the sheriff had said, "Hey, son, welcome to town. You look like you could use a hot bath and a slice of pie."
Yeah. Which is what a normal sheriff probably would have done.
Right. Or he would have said, "Hey, you doing all right? Let's get you over to the local church. They're doing this. They're doing this type of charity on Sundays or whatever."
Yeah. Get you clean clothes and warm meal. Yeah.
Right. Like, even if you turned him out after that, at least do a little something for him in the meantime.
Yeah.
But nope, this was a bully with a badge.
Yeah.
I can't think of the last movie I saw that was this sad. That, like, it's sad, but it's also awesome action scene after crazy awesome action scene. He really should not have survived several times over.
Oh yeah.
At the very least, that big wound on his arm after he ended up in the rat water in the cave or in the mines, he should have gotten a wicked infection.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think to mention this at the start, but this was, or maybe I did. It was my first time seeing this one, and it's just, he's a super soldier, but that's like, it's a tragic thing in this movie, what he is.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. And they kind of, I guess they kind of rectify that in the sequels. Because in First Blood 2, the colonel, Troutman, he gets him out of prison and basically sends him on a suicide mission to Vietnam to rescue POWs.
Which we might have to watch that movie at some point, but I feel a little bit conflicted about that, given what the character has already been through.
Oh yeah.
Although I guess that would be like, if he can't live a normal life anymore, he can at least do that damage for some good. But this is kind of like, I do keep bringing this back to Death Wish, where it wouldn't have made as much money. It might not have stuck around in the zeitgeist longer, but like artistically, he didn't really need sequels.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah.
I did mention I like Stallone a lot, but I think he does have an unfortunate tendency to kind of have a character like this and sand it off, sand off the edges a bit.
Yeah. Well, he did that with Rocky.
Yeah. Which is funny because Rocky was his character, where this was based on a novel. But like in this one, apparently Stallone insisted that he couldn't actually kill any of the detectives. or any of the sheriffs, I should say.
Yeah, because actually, yeah, if I remember correctly, the version of Rambo in the novel is actually much more vicious. Like he actually does kill a lot of people in the book.
Right, where his hands are relatively clean here.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I also want to talk about the directing here a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Some of these shots are amazing.
Yeah, they are.
You can also tell where this was a lot of people's favorite movie growing up. You know that scene where you have the sniper in the helicopter trying to get a beat on him, and the camera pans around, like the helicopter's on one side of the tree trunk. Then Rambo moves a little bit, and it shifts over to the other side of the tree trunk, just like a clean helicopter shot, or clean shot with the helicopter emerging from behind the tree again.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I kept thinking to myself when I was watching that, I've played this video game, or at least I've seen that shot in a video game before, but I can't think of which one.
Yeah, yeah. May have been one of the Call of Duty games. I don't know if you're.
Yeah, I was getting a Gears of War vibe with it.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah. It was directed by the director's name is Ted Kotcheff. And just looking at his filmography here, don't really recognize any of the early
Weekend
stuff.
at Bernie's.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's a divergence there, man. Okay, then.
53 things. Some Law
We directed North Dallas 40. Okay.
Weekend at Bernie, switching channels.
But yeah, no, very well directed. Just all around a very well done movie.
Yep.
Yeah. And I'm glad they went with Stallone rather than the actor that they originally wanted to play Rambo.
Oh,
Dustin Hoffman.
Okay, no, I could not have believed Hoffman at any stage of his life being a super soldier.
No. But yeah, as DB mentioned, it's on Tubi. Yeah.
That sounds like they picked an actor who they thought would draw an audience because he was a known quantity.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. But yeah, the movie's on Tubi. If you haven't seen it yet, or heck, pick it up on. I don't know if it's gotten a 4K release, but I know it got a Blu-ray release.
I would think it. I would think it would have to. Well, and also apparently Ted Kotcheff passed this year.
Oh, he did. Oh, I remember hearing about that. Yeah.
Wow, 93 or 94.
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty recently. I want to say that was like in the spring. Yeah, April.
Well, regardless, here's to you, Mr. Kotcheff. You did a fine job on this movie.
Indeed, yes. Well, I think we've said all we need to say for tonight.